What's up, nail geeks? I am back with Glam Polish's Valentine's Day 2021 limited edition event. We have polishes inspired by Valentine's Day, and we also have polishes with the anti-Valentine's inspiration. So this is a limited edition event. If you are familiar with the Halloween Horror Box event, where polishes are limited to what's in stock, this is going to be similar to that. So let's dive right into the swatches. First up is Eat, Pray, Love. This is a white curly with neon and pastel glitter mix. So the first 6 are the Valentine's Day inspired shades. Now this one has a very curly formula, a little bit of squish to it. I would describe the base color as being a stark white, but this has a very milky sort of finish. Now, some of you may prefer 3 coats on it. I personally took it up to 2 coats as I really liked that milky effect, and it really gave this soft, delicate sort of finish to it, and I thought 2 coats was perfect. So this is really going to depend on your personal preference. Now, I didn't have any problems in terms of texture or it being very thirsty per se, but it does tend to somewhat absorb your top coat a little bit. So I'd suggest a more viscous, somewhat thicker sort of top coat to finish it off. Regardless, I didn't think texture was a problem with this one. And next is a Cinderella Story. This is a light blue scattered hollow with shifting iridescent flakes and ultra hollow glitter. This is very pretty, very much a true Cinderella sort of blue. It's got this somewhat powdery sort of effect to it. There's quite a bit of a fine particle scattered holographic effect that's quite dense on the nail. This has a very jelly, somewhat squishy formula to it. And for the most part, I think 2 coats are going to be perfect for opacity. Again, if you go in thin with this one, you might want to build it up to 3 coats, but going in normally, I had no problems covering up my smile line at 2 coats. Now this does dry down quite flat, so you're going to want to use a glossy top coat to finish up with. Give your bottle a good shake and you'll get quite a bit of that also iridescent flaky sort of effect to get on that brush. So this is quite strong with the flakes. It gives off this dominant pinky orange sort of effect, and at extreme angles I did see just a touch of a green shift with it. And next is the Princess Bride. This is a light pink scattered hollow with shifting iridescent flakes and ultra hollow glitter. So this is essentially the pink version of a Cinderella Story. This is what I would consider as a rosy, almost mauve sort of base color. Very soft. I think it leaned quite a bit as a neutral on myself, but it was very, very flattering. And I really liked how the iridescent flakes in this one kind of amp up that neutral sort of base, and it just gives this delicate sort of appearance, but still pretty strong with that scattered holographic effect. Again, the holographic particles in this, in my opinion, are of the very fine particle size, so you'll get that really strong effect. Now, this is, again, going to depend on your preference for how you want to wear it. I personally thought that 2 coats was absolutely perfect. It still covered up my free edge very well. And then with that extra layer of my glossy top coat, I thought it was perfectly fine in terms of opacity. And next is Pride and Prejudice. This is a lavender scattered hollow with shifting iridescent flakies and ultra hollow glitter. So again, we have 3 of the same finishes with different base colors. I have to say that these 3 are probably my top picks in the set. I think they're very, very pretty, and it's very sparkly, a little bit extra, and the flakes really complement their base colors very well. Now this has a pretty identical formula to the other 2 holographic flakes in this collection. And again, I'm going to suggest 2, possibly 3 coats, depending on how you polish. If you go in with a 3rd coat on this one, I can definitely see that true to a jelly finish, that base color is absolutely going to deepen out. I think a little stronger than the other 2. So again, depending on your preference, but I thought 2 coats was perfect on it. And next is the Wedding Singer. This is a white curly with metallic, matte, and neon glitter mix. So again, I think this one has quite a bit of a true stark white sort of feeling to the base of this. And I think it also has that very milky sort of finish to the overall polish. Now here I took it up to 2 coats again because I really like that milky sort of effect where it's kind of soft and not so stark against my skin tone, but this is really going to depend on your preference. Once again, as I keep repeating myself here, if you go in just a little brush stroke happy, I think it really helps to make those glitters pop and not go underneath too much for the base color. This one, I had no problems getting quite a bit of glitter onto my nails here. Everything laid down nice and flat for me. But again, I do give my bottles a good shake before applying. So if you want that more stark, really in your face, less softer sort of curly finish, I think that 3rd coat would definitely make it pop best. But my preference, I really like this softer sort of appearance. And next we go into the anti-Valentine's inspired shades. This is Fatal Attraction, a red jelly with black glitter mix and Aurora shimmer. Now I was really worried how this was going to come off on my video and on my swatches in terms of color accuracy. This is quite a vibrant sort of red. It's got a bit of this hot and spicy sort of undertone with it, but at least on my monitor here, it's looking like it's coming off color accurate, but if it's not, I did want to make a blanket statement that this is a very vibrant type of red jelly that, in my opinion, has just the slightest bit of this red chili pepper, almost orangey sort of undertone. It's quite light. In person, this is absolutely a true red when you build it up. Now this has that juicy jelly-like application with it, and it does dry down flat, so to get that really satisfying sort of squishy jello-like appearance in your final look, I would suggest going in with a glossy top coat. Depending on your preference, especially if you take this one up to 3 coats, I would somewhat suggest a glitter smoothing top coat. You may need it. I went in a touch heavy on my glossy top coat and I didn't really have too much problems in terms of it kind of sucking in that top coat. And next is American Beauty. This is a pink jelly with shifting iridescent flakes and white glitter mix. Another shade that I was a little worried how it was going to come across on screens. So just in case this comes off quite skewed on your phone or wherever you're watching, I'm going to really stress this is quite vibrant in person. I definitely would describe the base color to this as a true vibrant neon pink. It's quite hot in person, very flattering, and quite vibrant. Now this also has a lovely glitter mix in it that makes it just a touch thirsty for top coat. So again, depending on your preference, you might want to finish off with a glitter smoothing top coat underneath your glossy top coat. Now for opacity on this, I think 2 coats is perfect for it. It builds up quite quickly to full coverage at the 2nd coat if you go in normal, and you'll get quite a bit of glitter mix on your nails. Now I think it's being a touch subtle on the video and on my swatches, but in person you can definitely tell that there are these somewhat subtle iridescent flakes kind of in the background. And next is Blue Valentine. This is a dark blue jelly with shifting iridescent flakes and neon pink glitter mix. Another really fun type of curly going on with that juicy sort of theme here. This one is quite opaque. It's got a strong squishy factor, so I'm going to suggest going in very thin on your coats and allowing it to slowly build up. This is one of those finishes that is very dense with the somewhat heavier glitters. So treat that first layer, your first coat, as more of a foundation. Let it dry down for a minute or two, and then when you go in for your 2nd coat, it kind of helps to adhere that next layer over it. And then here you can see it just pops like crazy for opacity. So I think 2 coats is going to be perfect with it. I honestly, in my opinion, I think a 3rd coat would be overkill for it as it builds up very fast. Now this one is what I would consider thirsty for top coat, so I would strongly suggest a glitter smoothing top coat, and especially to help get everything nice and smooth and even, and it'll also give you that very juicy sort of appearance. And next is Gone Girl. This is a dark purple jelly with shifting iridescent flakes and white glitter mix. This is very vampy, and again we have this juicy formula, and for opacity it builds up very quickly. So this is another one that I would suggest treating that first coat as if it was a foundation to your overall finish, and when you go in for the 2nd coat it builds up very quickly. Now this is quite juicy on the jelly factor, and it dries down quite flat. So I would suggest a glitter smoothing top coat on this one. Give your bottle a good shake and you'll get an excellent glitter mix on your nails. No issues there, and everything kind of lays down nice and flat for you. And it does dry down quite flat. So regardless, I would strongly suggest a glossy top coat over your glitter smoothing top coat. Now here on the second coat, you can see after I let the first coat dry down for maybe a minute or two, it just really helps to have it adhere. This is one that I think a third coat is going to do just a touch of overkill, if I'm honest, as it does have a very rich formula. And next is a Basic Instinct, a black jelly with shifting multi-chrome flakes and Aurora shimmer. So this is quite jelly on application. I think this one's really gonna pop very well between 2 and 3 coats. Again, I took it up to 2 coats. I thought it was perfect, but some of you may want to go in thin and go up to a third coat with it. It does very quickly reach opacity on the second coat, but if you want that super strong, vampy sort of appearance to kind of maximize your flaky effect, some of you may want a third coat. Again, going to depend on your nail length and how you apply, but I thought 2 coats was perfect. The flakes in this one are of the medium and larger varieties. I had no problems with them laying down nice and flat for me, and easy application with a very smooth jelly-like formula to it. Now the shimmer is very strong in person, and indoor lights it takes on this somewhat reddish sort of almost burgundy type effect like what you see on the video, and at angles it does shift over to a nice golden sort of shade. Now this is quite thirsty for top coat, not in terms of texture, but I would suggest a good glossy top coat. Now the Valentine's Day limited edition event will start Friday, January 29th. At 2 p.m. Eastern time. I will link you guys below to Glam Polish's shop if you want to get in there and check it out before the event starts. Again, this is very similar to the Halloween Horror Shop limited edition event where what is available and these are only limited in very strict quantities and they will not be restocked. So if you're wanting any of these, I would highly recommend getting in there when the shop opens and grabbing what you want. I will also link below Glam Polish's Facebook group if you want to see additional swatches. There is another collection that is releasing as a normal release alongside these, and those are super pretty, very hollow, springy sort of goodness there. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.